Hello everyone. As we all know that today is the Earth Day and Center of Environment and Disaster Management of National Law University Shimla is also celebrating Earth Day. So in this occasion, I, Dr. Chandreshwar Minhas and my colleague Mr. Anirudh Sood on behalf of the center will highlight the various environmental issues and that how with our small day-to-day activities we can contribute and do our duty for the protection of the environment. Earth Day is celebrated every year on April the 2nd since 1970. This day is dedicated to Earth and to address all the problems which plague it. The purpose of the day also includes to raise awareness on the need for conservation. Earth Day is mostly celebrated by performing outdoor activities individually or in groups. Activities such as planting trees, picking up roadside trash, conducting various programs for motivating sustainable living, making use of recycled materials, etc. Friends, this year, the way of celebrating this day has changed owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. So, Center of Environment and Disaster Management of National Law University Shimla decided to celebrate the day digitally. With social distancing still in place, National Law University Shimla's celebration of Earth Day has also gone digital. Of course, social distancing doesn't mean that one cannot go outside and enjoy nature, as long as we do so responsibly and abiding the norms of pandemic, that is social distancing, mask wearing, and now to take vaccination. They are must. And along with that, we also need to abide and understand the laws of Mother Earth. We have to understand that rights and duties coexist. According to United Nations, despite ongoing efforts, biodiversity is deteriorating worldwide at rates unprecedented in human history. It is estimated that around 1 million animal and plant species are now threatened and with extinction. Global environmental concerns, they have risen to the fore and have several distinctive features. Their impact is on a worldwide scale. For instance, global warming, desertification, marine pollution affect all regions of the world. They are hugely complex issues, and in many cases, the underlying science is not well understood. The issues are even interlinked. For example, ozone layer depletion can affect global warming. Global warming can lead to desertification or floods. Desertification in turn can intensify global warming. And changes in weather can lead to loss of biodiversity, destruction of ecosystem can damage species. So we can understand and we can make that particular, you can say, the issues which are how these issues they are interlinked. Today, the world is facing with number of environmental problems. The earth is affected by this number of environmental pollutions. We have but however the main global environmental concerns are, for example, global warming, disappearance of tropical forests. Tropical forests, which are the lungs of the earth, and they play an important role in the carbon and oxygen cycles. They harbor a wide variety of life and also provide livelihood to humans. And most of these tropical forests, they are located in developing countries. An increasing population, pressure of population is leading to rapid clearance of forests. And in recent years, the tropical forests, the cover went down from 1.91 billion hectares to 1.75 billion hectares. So at this rate, the tropical forest will disappear completely within this century. So you can understand the social and economic consequences of the disappearance of, you can say, the tropical forest, and which will be disastrous. Deforestation, it also contributes to global warming. No one, and coming to, and when we talk about the biodiversity and the loss of biodiversity, no one knows exactly how much species of life exist on Earth. Estimates range, and according to one of the study, that from 3 million to 100 million. What is, however, known is that the disappearance of ecosystems is leading to loss of habitat for several species. Nearly 27,000 species become extinct every year, and majority of these are small tropical organisms. And this in turn, it leads to further destruction of fragile ecosystems. And when it comes to world's oceans and seas, they are getting increasingly polluted. And what are the causes of marine pollution? Those particular causes of marine pollutions, they are evident. The urban rural waste finds its way through rivers into the seas and oceans. Friends, the facts, these facts, they indicate what they are showing us, that such is the sum total of mighty achievements of the most advanced among the nature's creation, the human beings. Today, we are celebrating Earth Day. Typically, Earth Day is assigned a different themes each year, and the theme of this Earth Day is Restore Our Earth. This theme, Restore Our Earth, it also associates to the COVID-19 pandemic. And one theory is that COVID-19 very likely originated in wildlife, spreading from human to wildlife interactions. And as I said, climate change, deforestation, and other habitat destruction only increases human contacts with wildlife. The current pandemic has not only affected the world economies, but resulted to shut down the economies of the world and is causing large number of deaths. And climate change is in fact another an existential threat to our global civilization. And neither of these two challenges recognize, or any of the environmental problems, they recognize them. Global environmental problems, they recognize national borders. So we can see that the situation of our Earth, of our planet, that is deteriorating, and human activities are considered to be responsible for this. So the question arises, what solution do we have in front of us in order to prevent or solve this environmental problem so that we can save our Earth? As is evident from the theme also, that is to restore our Earth. And we are looking for solution in this form also. Restore Our Earth accordingly focuses on natural processes as well as emerging green technologies that can restore the world's ecosystems. Theme of this year, Earth Day, likewise, is a reflection of finding the solution in the form of restoration of Earth, rather than only on concentrating that mitigation or adaptation are the only way to address climate change and other environmental problems. Restoring Earth also indicates and also means restoring our biodiversity. As per United Nations report, nature's decline is unprecedented and 1 million species, they are at a risk of extinction. And preserving biodiversity not only protects threatened and endangered species, it also preserves what makes Earth a livable Earth or a good Earth. A home to millions of species. We are sharing land, air, water, and air. And along with that, investing in nature-based solutions can also be one of the ways. We need to reverse the heavy carbon and industrial trends, creating a planet where human works with nature, not against it. Along with that, proper soil management, reforestation, species conservation, they are, they can be other, you can say, you can say that potential solutions when it comes to the restoring our Earth. The Earth is capable of storing massive amounts of carbon, but these carbon sinks, as they are called, are continually under attack by humans. The ocean is taking the heat for unchecked climate change and deforestation, rips the planet of trees, turning massive carbon sinks like the Amazon rainforest into carbon sources. Friends, looking at the gravity of environmental problems, what becomes important for us human beings is to create a proper balance in environment and development, and also along with that to focus on sustainable living and sustainable development. Let us all come forward to celebrate Earth Day by appreciating and respecting the natural world. Here are some of the, you can say, that is the ideas which can inspire all of us in this particular year and in many coming years. And one of the best ways to connect with the earth is through cleanups. And cleanup, that is clean up plastic or a non-biodegradable garbage in our neighborhood or local park or in our local localities or in the area in our vicinity where we all are residing. We are making it a point that we are not spreading the garbage in open. We have to take care of these, of spreading the garbage in an open or even in a government land. And so accordingly, along with that plantation of trees. Tree captures carbon. They cool overheated places and as well as they help in boosting local economies. So, by this plantation drive, that can be one of the best solution for restoration. And one Mahotsav is one of the beautiful example when we talk about the plantation drive. And this is not a particular, you can say that the restoration of earth. We cannot think of that only for one specific occasion, but this should be an ongoing process. So, and friends, so for that we can talk to not only to our local authorities, but also to the people who are residing in our vicinity about the importance of trees, about planting more trees in our native gardens, in public spaces, and even on our lawns and our land. We have to stop using pesticides and chemicals in the gardens, in the land. In our country, we are in the Western countries, the persistent organic pollutants which are banned, but we are still using those persistent organic pollutants. So it becomes important that those particularly, you can say, we have to stop pesticides and chemicals, using of chemicals and those pesticides. Then conservation of water, that is in fact, and rainwater harvesting, that can also be very, very beneficial or one of the best way to connect with the earth. We waste a lot of water, so we can avoid or we should avoid overwatering our plants, our gardens. And according to Kathleen Rogers, the president of the Earth Day Network, and according to him, the scientists, they are sounding the alarm that unless we take better care of the planet, we risk more and even deadlier viruses ravaging our communities. We know that how climate change and other global environmental issues, they have broken our natural systems, leading to new and fatal diseases and breakdown of the global economy. We have evidences in front of us. But just as climate change and coronavirus painfully reminds us, and along with that, Bhopal gas disaster, Fukushima tragedy, Vishakhapatnam tragedy, that is these all are painfully reminding us of the harm we have caused to our Mother Earth. Friends, the theme of today's Earth Day, that is Restore Our Earth, reminds us of the opportunities that lay ahead to protect our home, our planet, that this most beautiful planet we need every country should work together. Every citizen of this particular this planet this should come forward and work together against threats as large and destructive as climate change or coronavirus. Only a unified front can protect human and planetary health in the long run. Caring for nature, plants, and the land is integral to our own health, and that individual responsibility lies within each of us. Dear friends, before I invite my colleague Mr. Anirudh Sood to share his views on Earth Day, I conclude with the observation of Supreme Court of India in a case of Goa Foundation Goa versus Diksha Holding Private Limited and others. Quote, environment is beauty. Environment is our sustenance. As such, in the event the same perishes, humanity will also perish, may not be today or tomorrow, but certainly day or two later. Unquote. Friends, the need of an hour is to preserve and save our earth. And it is important that we should identify and recognize our duties as well as rights relating to the environment. And we should not forget that rights and duties go hand in hand. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, overuse of natural resources motivated by greed and desire to make undue profits at the expense of the biosphere is avoidance, since it deprives others of the use of such materials. Friends, we know that prevention is better than cure. So on this Earth Day, let us come together and take a pledge to preserve and restore our Earth. Thank you very much. Over to you, Anirudh, now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful and thought-provoking words. Center for Environment and Disaster Management, established at Himachal Pradesh National University, Shimla, stands committed to promote awareness and raise consciousness amongst the stakeholders to rise to the occasion and work towards environmental protection, thereby giving effect to the noble vision of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Nishtha Jaswal, ma'am, in its true letter and spirit. We at Himachal Pradesh National University Shimla are blessed to be in the lap of nature, which offers the most serene and picturesque view of the mid-Himalayas. At the same time, it also makes us understand the human dependency on Mother Nature. Equally, it is important for us to understand the harm which individual does to nature by numerous activities, making it imperative that people in the vicinity and adjoining settlements across the region are sensitized so as to enable them to understand the economic, exquisite, and biological importance of the environment and how to protect and preserve it by eliminating human activities. Furthermore, sustainable development, connection with nature, and encouragement for the protection of environmental pollution are only possible by creating environmental awareness. As an environmental steward, I somehow believe that engaging people to learn about environmental awareness records reactive and pro-reactive responses. Not only the harm caused by human activities and its repercussions has to be explained, but the focus should also be on the corrective actions to spread environmental awareness. In Himachal, except for periods of precipitation in monsoon and winters, the forests remain vulnerable to wildfires. Forest fires are a recurrent annual phenomenon in the state and most commonly occur in cher pine forests. In the summer season, forest fires occur frequently in the low and middle hills of the state, where forests of cher pine are common. The dry summer season from March to June coincides with the shedding of highly combustible needles by cher pine trees. Once the fallen dry needles catch fire, it can spread quickly over the entire forest due to the action of wind. However, Due to their thick bark, the pine trees are themselves relatively unharmed by these fires and can spring back to life during the monsoon season. Now, the cause of forest fire can be broadly grouped into two classes, natural and man-made. The fires caused by man can further be divided into two classes, that is, those caused unintentionally by his carelessness and those caused by him deliberately and intentionally. Thus, forest fires are caused firstly by natural causes, secondly due to man's carelessness, and third one is attributable to man's deliberate action. The natural causes which start a forest fire may be lightning, rolling stones, or rubbing of dry bamboos with each other. Of these three causes, lightning is responsible for more fire than any of the other two causes. If we talk about man's carelessness, the accidental fires caused by his carelessness may be due to any of the following reasons, such as leaving fire burning by cartmen of travelers, lighted by them for cooking their midday meal, or spreading of fire from labor camps. Or it could be attributed to throwing off burning matchstick or cigarette stumps in the forest by graziers or other travelers. Or it could be due to throwing off torchwood by villagers while passing through the forest during the night. Or falling of dry needles or leaves directly on electric poles giving out sparks. Or burning of fields or grasslands in the villages outside but adjacent to the forest and leaving such fire to spread in the forest area. Now, if we talk of man's deliberate and intentional action for causing fire, we take into account a lot of causes, prominent one being uh, burning the undergrowth and grass to collect minor forest produce, such as horn, which otherwise is not visible. Or it can be attributed to inducing new shoots of grass in summer by burning the dry grass. Or it could be due to burning undergrowth and grass in the forest to search for injured wild animals or even to trap wild animals. Or it could be for scaring away wild animals from the near villages, or destroying or at least charring the stumps of illicitly felled trees in a forest. Now, having said that, what is important is that people should be made aware as to the fact that dry leaves makes great compost that can be put to use instead of causing fire, which ultimately adds to air pollution. From being human to being a sensible human who realizes that the physical environment is fragile and is indispensable, it is the most important aspect that we must understand and realize. And we must begin fixing the problems that threaten the environment. In this direction, small initiatives could include cleaning the streets, planting trees on roadside, documentation of local traditional knowledge or practices related to permaculture, waste management, water conservation, weather forecasting, etc., and its benefits. Planting native trees alongside of riverbanks, practicing and encouraging water harvesting techniques, development of trenches, soak pits, conservation of local water bodies, small bunds, etc. Providing and promoting carry bags made out of discarded old cloth or made up of other environment friendly material to discourage use of plastic and disposal in rivers as well as in the drains. I also believe that when we as human beings have the potential to mitigate the loss caused to the environment, we shouldn't turn a blind eye and move on with our lives. People with few resources are not as equally responsible as the others, but they ultimately suffer largest brunt of environmental degradation. A stronger thrust to facilitate convergence, synergy, uniformity, and continuity of awareness programs is desirable. The structured programs and well-defined role of different stakeholders needs to be addressed, especially in the informal education sector. Pooling of technical and financial resources and proper coordination among different players may help carve out a structured input. The coordinated approach for human resource development may be useful to have uniformity in standard of design and delivery of programs and activities for environmental protection. Education is a primary tool in the critical endeavor of attaining a sustainable future of our society. Environmental literacy enables the children to develop their understanding to the change that they live. It teaches the ecological concepts and develops the ecologically sound decision with respect to environmental issues. Education institutions help mobilize resources and provide a source of information and focal points for present needs at national and international level to tackle environmental issues and climate change. These bodies play a key role to facilitate new generation to assess their needs and address the nature of change. In order to do so, education institutions should have environmental activity work plans for their students and ensure their involvement in local and regional activities. Promotion of non-formal education activities in association with government and non-government organizations will help in achieving the global environmental education aims and facilitate the environmental concerns amongst these students. However, there is a need to strengthen existing education bodies or establish new ones to recognize various environmental services provided by natural resources and ecosystem information and should coordinate activities with other partners or relevant agencies. These bodies should improve its outreach in rural areas and make aware the rural children about the environmental concerns. The impact of such activities would enhance critical thinking, problem solving, and effective making skills and will teach children to weigh various sides of environmental issues to make informed and responsible decisions. Sensitizing a child would imply sensitizing of an entire family, inculcating new values for the planet. Mother Earth is clearly urging a call to action. Nature is suffering. Extreme heat, wildfires, and floods, as well as record-breaking uh, pandemic, which has affected millions of people as of now. So we face the COVID-19 pandemic, a worldwide issue that is related to the health of our ecosystem, which support all life on Earth. The healthier our ecosystems are, the healthier the planet and its people would be. Restoring our damaged ecosystem will help to end poverty, combat climate change, and prevent mass extinction. With a firm belief that this an awareness initiative by the Center for Environment and Disaster Management, working at Himachal Pradesh National Law University Shimla, will help us stop, halt, and reverse the degradation of ecosystems. Let's remind more than ever on this International Mother Earth Day that we need to shift to a more sustainable economy that works both for people as well as for the planet. Let's promote harmony with nature and the earth and safeguard the divine benefaction bestowed upon all of us. Thank you so much.